Picture this. A Bugatti Veyron sitting alone in a pristine modern showroom, dramatic spotlights creating shadows across its perfect blue carbon fiber body, engine cover raised to reveal the W16 masterpiece beneath. This isn't just a car. This is Volkswagen's $300 million middle finger to the laws of physics. In the early 2000s, while other manufacturers built sensible supercars, Volkswagen decided to ask a simple question. What if we just ignored reality? What if we built something so absurd, so utterly mental, that even Formula One engineers would call us mad? The result was 1,001 horsepower wrapped in French luxury. Ferdinand Piëch, Volkswagen's chairman, wasn't interested in building another fast car. He wanted to build the fastest car, over 253 miles per hour, 16 cylinders, 4 turbochargers, 10 radiators. This wasn't engineering, this was corporate ego with a $16 million per unit price tag and development costs. But here's the plot twist. It actually worked. Against every prediction, every expert saying it was impossible, Volkswagen created a production car that rewrote the rulebook. This is the story of how German engineering stubbornness and French luxury heritage created the most expensive technical middle finger in automotive history. Let's set the scene. It's 1998. And Ferdinand Piëch just bought Bugatti. Not to make money, Volkswagen executives knew that was impossible. But to prove something, Piëch had a vision so ridiculous it made other CEOs question his sanity. Build a car that could hit over 400 kilometers per hour and still be comfortable enough for a trip to Monaco. The original Bugatti, remember them? Made the Type 35 in the 1920s. Racing legends. Then, Ettore Bugatti died. The company collapsed, and the name became automotive history. Until Volkswagen showed up with a blank check and absolutely mental ambitions. They didn't buy a company, they bought a legend to resurrect. Piëch's specification list read like a fever dream. Top speed over 400 kilometers per hour, 0 to 100 in under 3 seconds. And it had to be street legal. Oh, and comfortable, and luxurious, and reliable enough to drive daily. Engineers looked at this list and politely suggested he might want to see a doctor. Here's the brilliant part. Piëch didn't care about profitability. Volkswagen was printing money from Golfs and Passats, so they could afford to lose millions on every single Veyron just to prove they could build it. This was engineering vanity project taken to its absolute extreme. The development took 7 years. 7! They started in 1998, promised delivery in 2001, and finally delivered in 2005. Every single deadline missed because physics kept saying no, and Volkswagen kept saying make it work anyway. Let's talk about that engine. A W16, not a V12 like sensible people. No, Volkswagen welded 2 narrow-angle V8s together at 15 degrees, 8.0 liters, 4 turbochargers. This thing had more forced induction than a space shuttle. 1,001 horsepower. Why 1,001 specifically? Because Piëch wanted to beat 1,000, so they added one more just to be properly obnoxious about it. That's not engineering restraint. That's German pettiness wrapped in carbon fiber. The power figures are properly mental. 1,001 horsepower, 922 pound-feet of torque. To put that in perspective, this had more power than 3 Honda Civics combined. And it was street legal. You could drive this to the grocery store if you had $17 per gallon fuel consumption. But power was just the beginning. Making it actually survive that power was the real challenge. The tires couldn't handle it. The brakes couldn't stop it. The cooling system couldn't cool it. Every single component had to be invented from scratch, because nothing existed that could handle these forces. 10 radiators. 10. 3 for the engine. 1 for the transmission. 1 for the differential. 2 for the intercoolers. 1 for the engine oil. 1 for the transmission oil. And 1 for the air conditioning. This car needed more cooling than a nuclear reactor. The tires were a nightmare. Michelin had to invent entirely new tire technology. They could only last 15 minutes at top speed before literally melting, and they cost $30,000 per set. $30,000 for tires that lasted a quarter of an hour at maximum velocity. Here's the properly mad part. The car had 2 keys. A normal key for normal driving, and a special top speed key. Insert the top speed key, and the car drops down, the rear spoiler retracts, the front diffusers close, it literally transforms into maximum velocity mode. This was Transformers but for millionaires. The braking system was equally insane. Carbon ceramic discs the size of dinner plates. At top speed, the rear spoiler acts as an air brake, standing up 90 degrees. Going from 250 miles per hour to 0 required the same distance as a commercial airliner landing. Cost per unit. Volkswagen lost approximately $5 million on every single Veyron sold. They sold it for $1.7 million, but development and production cost closer to $7 million per car. That's not a business model. That's a very expensive way to prove you can do something. The interior was pure French luxury. Bugatti heritage demanded it. Leather everywhere, aluminum and carbon fiber, a sound system that cost more than most cars. This wasn't just fast, it was a 250-mile-per-hour luxury lounge. July 2005, Arlesian Test Track, Germany. Test driver Pierre-Henri Raffanel pushes the Veyron to its absolute limit, 408.47 kilometers per hour, 253.8 miles per hour. The fastest production car in the world, officially indisputably, brilliantly mental. The automotive world went absolutely mad. Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, everyone had been claiming they could build the fastest car, but only Volkswagen actually did it. And they did it with air conditioning, comfortable ride, and full leather interior. But Bugatti wasn't done. In 2010, they released the Supersport with 1,200 horsepower and hit 267.8 miles per hour. They didn't just break records, they kept breaking their own records. Production numbers? Only 450 Veyrons total, 300 standard, 150 super sports, each hand-built in Molsheim, France, taking 6 months per car. Celebrity owners included Tom Cruise, Jay-Z, Cristiano Ronaldo, even Floyd Mayweather bought 3. Because one $2 million hypercar wasn't enough. But here's the properly brilliant part. Despite losing millions per car, the Veyron accomplished exactly what Piech wanted. It proved Volkswagen could build anything. It established automotive credibility that money couldn't buy. It was a $300 million advertisement for German engineering excellence. The Veyron also spawned an entirely new category of hypercars. Before Veyron, supercars topped out around 200 miles per hour. After Veyron, everyone was chasing 300. McLaren built the P1, Ferrari built La Ferrari, Porsche built the 918 Spider, all because Volkswagen proved it was possible. Critics called it excessive, unnecessary, pure automotive vanity. And they were absolutely right. And that was exactly the point. This wasn't about need. It was about capability. It was about doing something because you can, not because you should. The Veyron's replacement, the Chiron, arrived in 2016 with 1,479 horsepower. Even Bugatti looked at the Veyron and thought, we can make this more ridiculous. They were right. But that's another story. Legacy? The Veyron proved that with enough money, enough engineering talent, and enough corporate stubbornness, you could defy physics. It proved that dreams don't have to be realistic. They just have to be funded. Technical specifications that still shock today. 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. 0 to 100 in 5.5. 0 to 200 in 16.7. Quarter mile in 10.2 seconds at 145 miles per hour. These were numbers that redefined what fast meant. Maintenance costs were properly mental too. Annual service $40,000. Major service every 4th year, $300,000. The tires alone cost $30,000 every 10,000 miles. Owning a Veyron didn't just require wealth. It required recurring wealth. But despite the cost, despite the absurdity, despite every rational argument against it, the Veyron changed automotive history. It moved the goalposts so far that an entire generation of hypercars exists because Volkswagen said, physics are just suggestions. The Veyron proved something fundamental about human ambition. We don't build things like this because they make sense. We build them because someone dared to ask what if, and had the resources to find out. That's not automotive engineering. That's philosophy with 16 cylinders. Today, Veyrons sell at auctions for $2 to $3 million. Appreciation on a car that depreciated millions when new. Collectors recognize what enthusiasts always knew. This wasn't just a car. It was a moment in history when someone decided to prove that impossible was just an opinion. The engineering achievements still inspire today. Materials science, aerodynamics, thermal management, tire technology. Every lesson learned from the Veyron program filtered down to make normal cars better. That $300 million investment educated an entire industry. Ferdinand PX gamble paid off in ways accountants couldn't measure. Brand prestige, engineering reputation, automotive immortality. The Veyron put Bugatti back on the map and proved Volkswagen Group could compete with anyone at any price point. So, when people ask if the Veyron was worth it, they're asking the wrong question. The Veyron wasn't about worth. It was about proving that human engineering could overcome any obstacle if you threw enough talent, money, and stubborn determination at the problem. It was proof that impossible is just an opinion. So here's the question. Was the Veyron worth $300 million in development costs and $5 million losses per car? If you're an accountant, absolutely not. But if you're a dreamer who believes engineering should push boundaries instead of respecting them, then the Veyron is priceless. This is Supercar Chronicles, where we celebrate the beautiful, the brilliant, and the properly mental. Hit subscribe if you want more stories of automotive ambition taken to absolutely ridiculous extremes, because next episode, we're diving into the Lamborghini Countach, when Marcello Gandini drew a spaceship and somehow convinced Italy to put it on 4 wheels. See you then.